All right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, all the way out of Staten Island, my homeborough, Brooklyn. Back out with another video. And today marks the 35th anniversary of the release of the legendary certified classic R&B album, Cooleyhighharmony, by legendary R&B group Boyz II Men. We all know them and love them. Nathan, Sean, Wanya, and Michael. No, they are all certified R&B legends, and their legend began with this classic right here, Cooleyhighharmony. Definitely one of the greatest R&B albums of all time. One of my personal favorite R&B albums of all time. And let's get into it. The first single released from this classic was the now legendary song Motown Philly, which is of course reference to Motown Records, the record label that helped popularize soul music in the 1960s. Of course, led by Berry Gordy at the head. That label gave us legendary musicians such as Smokey Robinson, the Supremes, Martha and the Vandells, the Temptations, the Jackson 5, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, the Four Top Suspenders, and so many more. And of course, Boyz II Men were signed to that label. And of course, Philly, Motown Philly. Of course, Boyz II Men, they're from Philadelphia, and it also referenced to the very influential 1970s Philly soul scene. The song was a huge success and is a certified Boyz II Men classic and a certified R&B classic, period. Anybody who's an R&B head knows this song. Then the album was released, and it gave us more successful and classic R&B songs. Please Don't Go, Lonely Heart, This Is My Heart. And we're going to get into the rest in a minute. Little Things, Your Love, End of the Road. We'll get to that. And many, many more. Another successful single that came from this album was It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday. We all know the song. Anybody who's ever attended a funeral or watched a movie or a TV show with a very emotional, tear-jerking moment, this song was played. It's so hard. I'm not even going to try to sing it. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Another single that came from this is one of the greatest R&B songs of all time, as far as I'm concerned, End of the Road. This is my favorite song from this album. This is probably my favorite Boyz II Men song, period. And I got quite a few, but I love this song. Provide a little context how successful it was. In the United States, it spent a then record-breaking 13 weeks at number one on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. A record broken later in the year by Whitney Houston's 14-week number one hit, I Will Always Love You. Another one of the greatest R&B songs of all time. Boyz II Men would later match Houston's record with I'll Make Love to You, another one of the greatest R&B songs of all time. These got R&B legends, man, which spent 14 weeks at number one in 1994, and then reclaimed the record with One Sweet Day, a duet with Mariah Carey, which spent 16 weeks at a number one from 1995 to 1996. They're one of the most successful R&B group, one of the most successful musical acts of the 90s across genres. Boyz II Men are also one of the most influential. Of course, here's a video from End of the Road. And when I say influential, even the white boy pop bands were influenced by Boyz II Men. For all you don't know, Brian Littrell of the Backstreet Boys, he claimed that they used to listen to Boyz II Men, Jodeci, and Shy. Of course, three black R&B groups. And that they answered an ad that stated, "We're looking for a Boyz II Men sound with a new Kids on the Block look." In other words, white boys who sound like black singers. They love black music. They just don't love the people who make it. Kind of like in the movie Sinners. In the movie Sinners, where Delroy Lindo's character was telling Preacher Boy, white folks love the blues just fine. They just don't like the people who make it. Same thing with rock and roll and jazz and R&B, soul, hip hop, every other genre. That's where you get people like Elvis and Hall & Oates and the Backstreet Boys and Eminem, so on and so forth. But all that aside, Boyz II Men, they're definitely one of the greatest R&B groups of all time, period. Their legacy can be questioned. Are they the greatest R&B group of all time? Personally, I don't think so, but they're definitely up there. Among the greatest male R&B groups ever. But hey, do you think Boyz II Men is the greatest male R&B group ever? Tell me in the comment section down below. Is this your favorite album? Is this album a certified classic? And tell me, what's your favorite song on this album? To me, it is a certified R&B classic. End of the Road is definitely my favorite song from this. One of my favorite R&B songs ever, period. Love listening to it. A very relaxing, very soothing, and powerful song. The vocals are very powerful from these guys, man. But again, tell me in the comment section down below what's your favorite song on this album. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. I'm Young Brother Grow on YouTube.